Thrilled to have a healthy Joe Burrow this season. Since drafting him in 2020, the Bengals' win percentage drops by 25% when he's out. It's massive, and their scoring is down nearly 5 points per game. Cincinnati went 1-8 last season without Burrow. We all know it, right? When Burrow's out there, they're going to be a lot better. Boog, what are your expectations for Burrow and the Bengals this season? And did you clock what I did there when he said 2019 LSU? I know you did.
Oh, no doubt. I know Lewis put his head down anytime 2019 LSU is mentioned, because that means we talk about them Bayou Bengals. That's number one. As far as the Cincinnati Bengals are concerned, I think we feel pretty good about their offense if Joe Burrow's healthy with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and a rebuilt offensive line. The defense is what's kind of been holding them back, and they got a ton of people on defense. You go out, you get Dexter Lawrence, you sign Jonathan Allen, you get Boye Mafe, you draft Cassius Howell, you bring in the safety from the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be an entirely rebuilt defense, and all they're hoping for, can that defense give Joe Burrow and this offense one more possession? Can they make one more stop? If they stay healthy and the defense can create some turnovers and give the offense one or two more possessions, I think Cincinnati's got to feel as good as anybody about themselves, not only in their division, AFC North, but the entire AFC because of the continuity that they have. Let's face it, 2021 has been a long time ago. And we've heard all the rumors about Joe Burrow wanting to win. He may not be long for Cincinnati. This is a huge year for Joe Burrow, for Zach Taylor, and for this rebuilt defense. But if the defense is 20% better, this team not only is a playoff team, they can make a deep playoff run.
Yeah, Lou, is it realistic that they can be 20% better? I mean, how easy is that for a team to just kind of flip that switch, even with new faces in the building?
Yeah, it's never easy. It's never easy. And it's not like Cincinnati hasn't thrown assets at this problem before. And look, I mean, honestly, I think they probably need to be even more better than that. And look, in terms of points per game, yards per play, yards per rush, I mean, you're talking about a team that's 30, 31, 32, respectively. I believe it is the last time I looked at it. They were terrible. They were terrible. And so now Al Golden, their defensive coordinator, has a big job to do, primarily making sure that up front, with all the different types of players that they added up front, and you see them there on the bottom of your screen, those three players, Dexter Lawrence, Boye Mafe, Jonathan Allen, along with their rookie draft pick out of Texas A&M, those guys have to be stalwarts. They absolutely have to be stalwarts, because there's no question that this football team, to me, is going to judge success or failure starting with whether or not they take part in the postseason. That's the floor for them. And then offensively, it's not like they have still solved the riddle of how to protect Joe Burrow at a championship level. Joe has done all the things that he has done despite them having a terrible offensive line for the better part of their career. And they've thrown assets at that position too. So there's still questions for this football team, despite how optimistic we all are, me included.
I'm glad he said it, because but just shows you how amazing what Joe Burrow has been able to do even with a horrendous O-line. And the fact that over these last couple of years, we have discussed O-lines and the importance of O-lines more than ever, right? It's just been 'cause it started with Patrick Mahomes and getting blown out in the Super Bowl. It was like, well, the O-line. And then the Eagles win and it's like, well, their O-line is a right. Like we've talked about offensive lines over these last 3, 4, 5 years more than ever. Then Patrick Mahomes gets blown out again in 2024 and they're like, the O-line pretty much is all around Patrick Mahomes. But Joe Burrow, it's just like, it doesn't matter. Whatever. And the fact that he's been able to accomplish what he's been able to accomplish is remarkable. But before we jump into it, Cincinnati Bengals fans, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you guys do that, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof. And it's not about chasing views, it's not about chasing in subscribers, it's about being able to create Cincinnati Bengals content that people genuinely want to watch and discuss. So, we can keep having the most unbiased, grounded, honest conversations about the Bengals. It makes such a huge difference to watch the full length of the video, and I would really appreciate it. But yeah. I disagree about the defense needing to force turnovers. Like it is actually kind of funny because I was prepared to kind of come into here, and we've obviously been talking about the Bengals a tremendous amount. And I didn't show this part of the clip just because they were like entering into the segment. Laura was like, oh, like where we're talking a lot about the Bengals, we got the Bengals a lot in our show. And it's like, yeah, like it's theirs. I've been making a ton of Bengals clips as well because they're a really fun team to talk about. But, what comes with that though is, what else can you add to the conversation? Snorts, but I was thinking in my mind like, man, I kept saying that like this defense, if this defense could just be more competent, like, the how great can this team be? And then I started thinking to myself, oh, what I'm going to talk about like turnovers. Like what if this defense can actually generate some turnovers, right? And some good field position. I'm like, oh man, like can you imagine if Burrow got the benefit from that, right? Like some nice short yardage. Oh, he gets the ball at the 30 now, right? The opposing team. Like that's pretty good, right? What can Burrow do then? But that's what he really emphasized, book. And it's like that's not needed though. Ugh. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. That would be a big advantage and it would be great and you'd celebrate it. But the way how I felt like how he phrased it is like that's what they need to do. They need to get Burrow that other possession, all that. I don't see it as I just don't give up 30 points per game. Just don't give up 30 points per game. That's it. Just don't give up 30 points per game. We good. We good. Everything else is gravy, whipped cream, cherries, whatever, man. Just don't give up 30 points per game. We good. And then he said I think that not only the division, but in the AFC. No, the NFL. It's not reduced to the division. It's not reduced to the conference. It's the NFL as a whole. If this defense is legit and just competent, this O-line is improved, and Joe Burrow's out there balling, why should we put them in a separate category from the Rams, the Bears, the Eagle, who whatever teams are coming out of the NFC this coming year? So, why is there their concern there? Especially because, a lot of people are predicting that it could be a Bengals-Rams rematch, which would be pretty crazy, honestly, when you think of the chunk of time that's gone through and the changes that these teams have made to have them like get back, they both haven't gotten back to the Super Bowl and then now they get there. Like that would be a pretty wild full circle moment. But I think it's more of a testament of how comfortable and confident people feel about both these teams. But I mean, what the Bengals have, and the reason why I brought that up is because Stafford and McVay they have tremendous experience. Obviously, at this point. But the Bengals, right? Like when you're talking about some of these other teams that you could potentially go up against, whether it's a Super Bowl against Caleb Williams, right? Like it does become an advantage if you can take advantage of a team that doesn't quite have that experience or hasn't quite played in those moments. That's where you get to lean on. That's what the Chiefs have been able to do year after year after year. It's a major advantage in that. It's a major advantage going up against Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo, just because like those guys have not even been there. The coaching staff hasn't even been there. Right? Like it's a big advantage. Big advantage. Going up against Jalen Hurts in that first Super Bowl, right? Like at that point Mahomes and the Chiefs have already been to multiple Super Bowls. It's a huge advantage. Huge advantage. And so it's like that's what you're also hoping that with the competency of this Bengals team and the competitiveness of this team, that they'll also be able to take advantage of some of those mismatches. Of some of that inexperience. That's also what you're hoping to be able to leverage. Now, to be FA. There's lots of other teams that are kind of catching up, but like just because you played in the playoffs, it's not the same thing as playing in the, by having a game away from being into the Super Bowl or actually being in the Super Bowl. It's different. A wild card round, divisional round, it's all different. And so that's kind of another layer that you're then really going to. This is where you're going to rely on Taylor, Burrow, Chase, right? Like obviously like those, main core, figures in Cincinnati. But yeah, it is kind of just crazy when you really think about it, man. We've never really seen Burrow with like a legit O-line and just a legit defense, which is not asking for much. I'm not saying elite. I'm not saying special. I'm not saying dominant. Just like legit. Can we watch a game where it doesn't feel like me and my dad could be out there doing a better job? Like, can we that's all I'm asking for. I just want to get a feeling that like my mom couldn't do a better job than what you're showing me. It's all I ask for. I think it's a pretty low bar. I think it's an incredibly low bar. Just be better than what my mom could do. Listen, my mom's a monster and a beast in her own right, but she shouldn't be able to outplay the Cincinnati Bengals on defense or offensive line. Just saying. So, it just show me that. And then what do you think this team turns into? How is it not greatness? How is it not spectacular? How is it not dominant? How? Are you going to say that Joe Burrow is not actually that good of a quarterback? You may not think Taylor is like this amazing coach. He's not a disaster. He's not awful. He's not, one that's just going to throw away game after game after game. So, yeah. Just be competent. That's the tagline for the Bengals this year. That's the shirt. Cincinnati Bengals. Just be competent. That's it. Just be competent. Just be competent and you could legitimately win the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow can legitimately win the MVP, Super Bowl MVP. It could be the trifecta. Super Bowl, regular season MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Boom. Patrick Mahomes, too. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What you guys all think about the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow? How do you feel that this season's going to unfold? Obviously, we've been talking about them so much. But are things getting clearer? Are they getting money? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.